Hi, I want to teach you about the legs up the wall pose, which is a pose of deep relaxation and healing. And it's very helpful for getting a good night's sleep. So legs up the wall pose is a pose you could do any night before going to bed. And if you wake up in the night and you are having a hard time going back to sleep, you could get up and do the pose and then come back to sleep. So I always recommend keeping your mat and a blanket in your bedroom close by set up. So if you have trouble sleeping, you can just get out of bed quietly, just move to a wall in your bedroom and practice this pose, okay? It will help you get back to sleep in no time, okay? It also is good if you have high blood pressure. It will bring your blood pressure down. So I'll talk about that as well. And it just makes you feel really good. And just like all the poses in yoga, it's meant to bring you into balance. So it brings you to the middle wherever you are. So if you're really tired, for instance, and you've been on your feet all day and you're getting ready to go out dancing and you don't have the energy, you don't think you have to do it, if you do legs up the wall pose, it'll energize you because it'll bring you toward the middle. And if you're on the other side where you need less energy in that your mind is spinning and you can't calm it down, you can do legs up the wall pose and it will regulate your energy to bring you into the center, into balance, and it'll quiet your thinking. So that's what the yoga poses do. It's all about modulating your energy and using your energy in efficient and appropriate ways and learning how to bring your energy up and down as needed is a very great life skill to know. So that's what you're learning. Okay, so I want to show you legs up the wall pose, and I'll lead you in a little relaxation once you're there. But let me just demonstrate the pose, and then on your own, you can get into the pose after you've watched me. So you're going to bring your mat to the wall with the short edge of your mat against the wall. And then I like to also have a blanket just to make it a little softer. So I'm going to put my blanket down right there on the mat, close to the wall. And then I'm going to sit with one shoulder and one leg, hip, very close to the wall. And then I'm going to use my hands. I'm going to bring my hands behind me. And this is the part that takes a little practice, but you're going to kind of lean back, and with your hands and your arms, you're going to turn yourself toward the wall so that your shoulders end up facing the wall and your feet against the wall as well. Okay, so I'm going to come down for a minute. I'm going to move my blanket a little bit more from the wall, so when I lay down, my blanket's under my head too. And this time I'm going to go up from the other side, because actually that's the side I usually go up on. And it's a little easier for me. So you can try it both ways and see. So I'll sit close to the wall, and then I'm leaning back and I start lifting my legs up and using my hands and my arms and my forearms to turn me. So I'm facing toward the wall with the shoulders, and I have my legs up against the wall. Now, you do not have to have the backs of your legs tight to the wall. In fact, for most people, that is not desirable. What you want, though, is your whole back to be supported against the floor. So I just came a little bit farther from the wall, and now I can feel that my whole lower back is supported by the floor. So since this pose is designed also to help the lower back, we don't want to feel any pulling there. So if I go closer to the wall with my buttocks, then I start feeling a little bit of pulling. It's not even discomfort, but I don't want any pulling at all. So I prefer to be a little farther from the wall. And
That way my back is supported. My legs, I can see that you can't see my feet against the wall here. So I'll come down and adjust this a little bit. And hopefully you'll be able to see that again. I still can't see them, but anyhow, you know they're there. You know my feet are attached. Good. So my back is feeling good. And I want to let the weight of my legs and my feet rest against the wall. Now, for some of you, it's going to be hard for you to keep your feet together, but try to. But if you need to let them come apart a little bit, you can. Or if you need to just have a little bend in your knees, you can as well too. But really get that back settled against the floor. And then with the arms, I'm going to suggest one of two things. Sometimes it's nice just to have your hands rest on your belly. Or if here's three, you can have your arms out to the side with your palms facing out. Or you can make this kind of cactus or a pitchfork kind of position with the elbows bent and the arms resting on the floor. If you are using this one, you want to make sure that the back of the hands can touch the floor, so you're not holding your arms up off the floor the whole time, because that won't be relaxing at all. So if you find that happening, just bring your arms next to your side or let your hands rest on your belly. And then another thing that might make it a little more comfy for you is you want your forehead and your chin to be at about the same height. You don't want this to happen, and you definitely don't want this to happen. So sometimes I take either another blanket or I just fold the edge of this blanket and put it under my skull. I don't put it under my neck. And that just brings a little bit more ease into my neck and my face, okay? So I'm going to give you a minute or two to go ahead and get into this position. Now, remember, sometimes it takes a few tries to get your legs up and your torso facing the wall. So if you get up and if you put your legs up and you find yourself all crooked, just come down and start again. I have my blanket on my mat, but sometimes it's easier just to have your blanket right on the floor and not on the mat, because that way the blanket can slide, and that might help you get into your position. But once you're there, we're going to be staying here. This is a pose you can stay, you can really stay up to like 15 minutes if you wanted to, and just be relaxed. So if you need more time to get up in the pose, that's okay. You can stop the video and bring your computer close by, and then turn it back on, or make any adjustments that you need to. But I just want to lead you in a little bit of relaxation while you're here, okay? So let's start with the hands on the belly. And you're breathing in and out through your nose as best you can. Just let your shoulders and your back rest toward the floor. Your hands are on your belly, but let your elbows touch the floor. Don't hold your arms up. And take one or two breaths in that come in through the nose, but sigh them out on the exhale. And just feel how that navel sinks down toward your spine as you breathe out. And as you breathe in, you feel the expansion of the chest, the back, the rib cage, and the rise of the belly. And then exhale, let go of the breath. And you may have some subtle changes that you need to make, and you can just bring those into the pose wherever you are. But allow your face to be very relaxed. In fact, make that the most important part of the pose, to allow your face to be very relaxed. And switch your breath so you're breathing in and out through your nose. But as you breathe out, you do feel your navel dropping towards your spine. Let your legs and feet be heavy against the wall. If at any time you need to bend your knees and you feel like that would be more comfortable, you could. Or if you feel like you just need to get out of this pose, you can scoot yourself back away from the wall and then bring your legs down so the soles of your feet rest on the floor, and you can just be on your back, or you can roll to your side, whatever's best for you. And notice your breath in and notice your breath out. And start to let your breath out be a little longer than your breath in. So this is a small, subtle, gentle change that happens very slowly. That little by little over time without bringing any stress into your breathing. You allow your exhale to become a little longer. And ultimately, it becomes a little longer than your inhale. As the exhale lengthens, your body, your mind, your spirit, all shift into a deeper level of relaxation. All shift into a more quiet space. A more calm and safe space. Now, with that said, if any of this is making you feel anxious and you just can't shake that sense of being anxious, then change the position or change your breathing as you want to. If you want to, you could bring your two palms together and rub your hands back and forth briskly, creating heat in your hands. And then covering your closed eyes with your palms, make it just a little bit darker. Keep your eyes closed and keep your eyes covered. And notice that deeper sense of darkness and how calming and relaxing it is. Your breathing is slow and easy. And your breath flows in and out without any strain or stress. Now you're welcome to keep your eyes covered if you like that. If you want to uncover them, you can, but you're going to keep your eyes closed. You can try your arms either on your belly or in the cactus pose. It's up to you. And so you could stay in this pose longer if you want. I'm going to give the directions and demonstrate now how to come out of the pose. But if you're not ready, you can just listen and then come out of the pose as you're ready. So again, just a reminder, when the legs are up like this, the blood pressure does come down. So we're never going to get up abruptly from this position. So when you feel ready, you'll come to a point where you'll bend your knees and you'll let your thighs come closer to your chest. And I like to just let my feet rest against the floor, the wall, excuse me. And I'll be here for a minute or two. And then little by little, when I'm ready, I'll scoot myself back. If I'm just on a blanket on the floor, I'll slide my whole blanket away, but I didn't set up like that today. And then I'll come to rest on the floor with my knees bent and the soles of my feet on the floor. And here I'm going to stay for at least a couple of minutes. Okay, so then my legs are up the wall for 2 to say 8 minutes. I'm going to rest here on my back with my knees bent for 2 or 3 minutes. If my legs are up the wall for say 15 minutes, Then I'm going to rest longer on my back. I'm going to be here with my knees bent, soles of feet on the floor, maybe for 5 or 6 minutes. You want to give yourself a chance for your blood pressure to equalize again. One of the things that happens is when the legs are up, we're reversing the flow. So now instead of the heart having to pump really hard to get the blood from the feet back to the heart, gravity is just flowing the blood there. It gives the heart a break, and again, it brings the blood pressure down. So you want to just give yourself, always want to have transitions in yoga. You never want to hurry from one place to the other. And you'll just wait on your back until you feel ready. And tonight we're just going to be a couple of minutes here, but you could stay longer here too if you wanted. And you're just noticing and feeling your breath. And then after I'm on my back for a while and I feel ready to move, then I'm going to transition again. And this time the transition is going to be to my side with one arm under my head and the other arm on my hip. And I'm going to be here for a while too. So I'm going to be here for a couple of minutes. And I'm still watching and noticing my breath. I'm still keeping myself in a relaxed place, trying to keep my mind quiet, not jumping into my to-do list. And I'm just noticing in each of these different positions with my legs up the wall, with my feet back on the floor, but my back on, still on my back, and then on my side. I'm just noticing how I feel in all of these places. Noticing what my breathing is like. I'm noticing if I can still keep my face relaxed. Noticing how my back feels in each position. How my mind is my mind quiet or racing? Is my breath smooth or ragged? My emotions. Just noticing my whole self, my whole being. Remember, in yoga, we treat the whole person. We're not just working on the body. We're not just working on the mind or the emotions. Our spirit, it's our whole person all the time. And you can rest on your side for as long as you want. But when you want to sit up, you want your arms and legs to do the work, not your back. So you stretch that top leg out. You'll press with your elbows and your forearms, and you'll walk your hands closer to your body until you come back into a seated position of your choice. And here, because we're going to end the class, I'm going to ask you just to bring your hands together in the pose of prayer. Bowing our heads, we look inside, we honor ourselves and each other. So that's the legs up the wall pose. It's a great help to getting a good night's sleep. Keep your blanket and your mat close by in your bedroom so you can go there. If you do it in the middle of the night, when you find yourself getting sleepy, come down from the pose, get yourself back in bed, don't fall asleep at the wall. It will happen, so just be aware that that could happen. So I hope you'll practice this. I hope it'll be helpful to you. You're looking to get your best night of sleep, and so thank you for joining me. Have a blessed evening. I'm going to stop the recording now.